So, lesson 4. This is where everything becomes very practical. This is how you're actually going to make your lessons work for you, instead of just going along with whatever the teacher says, with whatever happens. So from now on, your lesson isn't about getting through whatever your teacher's planned. It's about working through the right steps at a pace where you can stay calm. Most people arrive at a lesson thinking, today I need to float, today I need to swim, today I need to move away from the wall. And that pressure alone is enough to trigger those frightening thoughts before you've even got in the water. So your real goal is much simpler. It's to simply stay calm whilst you're exploring the next small step. Because learning only happens when your brain is calm enough to repeat an experience and become familiar with it. And that often means staying at the same step for longer than you expect or longer than you want to. Repeating something until it feels easy, not just manageable. So you stay with each skill until it's straightforward. You use the calm focus while you're practicing, and you don't move on just because the lesson plan says you should. You move on when your brain is ready. It's so important not to try and push through your comfort zone in a lesson, even if somebody's encouraging you to do that. So there are 3 comfort zone places you can be in your lesson. One is in your comfort zone, where you feel completely calm and safe, your brain's relaxed. The other one is in your learning zone, and there's a small stretch to your comfort zone. You're trying something new, but it's still manageable. And this is where progress happens. The third is in your panic zone. The frightening thoughts have taken over, and that's when learning stops completely. You're no longer in the lesson, you're just getting through it. So your goal in every lesson is to stay between comfort and learning. Progress doesn't come from pushing into panic or trying to force yourself to swim. It comes from repeating manageable experiences until they feel completely safe, and then taking the next small step. And if the panic appears, that's just a signal that you've moved too far, too fast. I know what you might be thinking, my teacher decides what we do. I just do what I'm told. And that's why your lessons have been going the same way. You turn up, they ask you to do something, you try, and at some point the frightening thoughts appear and the panic kicks in. And from there, you're just getting through it. And then, you can go home thinking it must be you. And we already know now that it's not. It's that your lesson was asking you to do things that you weren't ready for. Too fast, trying to learn skills in the wrong order without using the calm focus because you didn't know about it. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Your teacher probably has no idea this is happening. They're not trying to make things harder. They're teaching the way they were trained to teach, which focuses on swimming technique, not on what happens when frightening thoughts take over. Swimming teachers are trained to teach technique, so kicking, breathing, stroke mechanics. They're not trained to deal with panic. And that's not a criticism of teachers. It's simply not part of their qualification. So when a student keeps struggling and they can't work out why, most teachers feel frustrated too, not with you, but with the situation. They want to help you move forward. They just don't have the tools to deal with what's actually going on. But when you explain what's happening, a good teacher will feel relieved. It gives them something real to work with. It explains why you've been struggling, and it tells them exactly how to help. It can feel uncomfortable to talk to your teacher, though. I get that. It feels a little bit sometimes like you're undermining someone who should know best. After all, they're the expert. But you remember, you're a paying customer. You're entitled to get what you need from your lessons. You're not telling your teacher how to teach. You're giving them information that helps them help you. The truth is, some teachers will be grateful that you said something. It helps them do their job properly. But some won't. Some might be dismissive, some might be offended, and some will just sort of do their own thing regardless of what you said. Now, if that happens, it's nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of whether that teacher is the right fit for what you need. A teacher who won't adapt when a student explains what they need is not the right teacher for you. And knowing that is useful information, it's a sign to look somewhere else. Now, if you need help finding a teacher who understands how to work with adults who panic in water, I've put together a separate guide on exactly that, what to look for in a teacher, what to ask them. You'll find it in your workshop resources. I've also included a comprehensive guide that gives you the exact words to use so you can talk to your teacher, explain what's happening and what you need through every step of this so your lessons can finally start working. Now, of course, things will still go wrong sometimes. That's perfectly normal. It usually just means that your lessons have moved ahead of where you were, what you were ready for, or something unexpected happened that triggered that frightening thought, that triggered the panic, or that you moved on from one of the safety skills before it felt truly easy. Sometimes it's just not that the lesson went wrong, it's that you can't seem to make yourself do something even when you want to. And that's just your brain doing exactly the same thing it does when you try to float or lift your feet. It sends out those frightening thoughts to stop you, to keep you safe. As far as it's concerned, you're in danger, and it can be so frustrating, but it's just your brain doing its job. So when that happens, just come back, straight back to that calm focus. Pause, hold on to the side if you need to, breathe slowly, notice the water, bring everything back to that focus. Wait until you feel genuinely calm, even if it takes a few minutes, and then continue from exactly where you were. Don't try to carry on until you feel genuinely calm. Calm focus is what will bring you back every time. It stops those frightening thoughts and gives your brain a moment to register, I'm here, I'm okay, I'm safe. And if your teacher tries to move you on before you're ready, just use one of the phrases from the guide. You're allowed to say you need a moment. You're allowed to stay where you are. And if something keeps happening, like the panic appears when your face goes in, or you grab the wall, or you can do something once but not again, that's showing you exactly which safety skill needs more work. So come back to the calm focus, go back to that safety skill, use the guide. Repeat it until it feels genuinely easy. And that's not about going backwards. That's exactly how this works. You might take some steps forward and need to go back and revisit something. That's fine. And after a hard lesson, I know a lot of people drive home thinking, I failed again, it's me. And that thought repeated week after week just makes the next lesson harder before it's even started. Instead, ask yourself one question on the way home. What went better today? It might be small, but that's fine. Small is real. Small is progress. Maybe you stayed calmer at a moment that usually sends everything sideways. Maybe you managed to repeat one of the safety skills more easily than last time. Maybe you used the calm focus and it helped. Maybe you said something to your teacher that you wouldn't have said before. This is all progress. And your brain needs to notice them, because this is how it starts to update its picture of what water means to you. This is how you change your story about the water. Each moment of calm in the water is your brain receiving new evidence that it's okay, that it's safe for you, that you're fine. This is all progress. Swimming lessons can absolutely work, but only when you have the calm focus to stop the frightening thoughts taking over. You're working through the safety skills in the right order, and you're not being pushed too far, too fast, too soon. And your lesson is working with you, not accidentally against you. And when those things are in place, your brain gradually builds up that evidence it needs that the water's safe. And once it has that evidence, the frightening thoughts stop appearing. Lessons stop feeling like something you survive and start feeling like something that actually works. So the downloads that come with this workshop are there to support you. They contain so much detail that you can use in your lessons. And if you want to work through the safety skills in much more detail with specific guidance for your exact panic triggers, then, let me know. I can help you with that. Just email me. So thank you for being here. Now go and use this. Go and enjoy the water. Let's get these lessons working for you.